So you have this queer love song coming out on Valentine's Day. Does this make you a hopeless romantic?
Um, well, right now it's hard to feel a lot of hope,
Yeah.
but
So what's the
actually
song about, and what's the inspiration behind it?
this love song to the queer community is actually a community love
Yeah.
song, not a one-on-one
Yeah.
let's fall in love song. It's about claiming and celebrating queer love
Hmm.
and our strength as a community.
Hmm.
So it's not really about the one-on-one relationship. It's more about our community. And, it was written last summer. I actually co-wrote it, which is new for me, with Barb Morrison, the
Hmm.
producer, and Jeremy Kinney, the engineer. And we loved it when it got co-written, but then when the election happened, we felt strongly that the song needed to be out
Yeah.
as soon as possible. And so I kind of rushed it to get it out as my Valentine to the queer community because I'm not hopelessly romantic, but I am like I believe in our strength
Yeah.
and in our love, and I believe in like the special queer magic that has always been a part of our community and
Yeah.
will always be a part of our community, and that can't be taken away
I know.
by anybody. So,
And you and I do have a common love of Provincetown. And I've always maintained that you usually with Provincetown and the queer community, you fall in love with the town and a person. And sometimes it's a person first. What was it with you?
it was the
Oh,
town.
was a town.
It was the town, yeah. I mean, I went I was actually already in a relationship when I went for the first time. And then I came to live there later. But it was the town for sure.
It's hard not to take it all up. But when I read about you, we're up to today, you've got many titles: singer, actress, activist, podcaster. What else have I missed here? Writer, performer. I was going to call you a Renaissance woman. Would that suit you?
Sure, I'll take that.
Is there any
I
particular?
don't think I get to call myself that, but I'm
Okay.
perfectly happy for other
Well,
people to
I
call me.
wasn't quite sure because I know you switch from different things. Is there one particular talent or that you enjoy most of all?
They all live in like different places in me.
Mhm.
And part of me so there was a long stretch of time where I was very focused on the songwriting and the singing.
Yeah.
And when other things came up, I would be sort of protective, like, no, 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 I have to stay focused. This is who I am. But the truth is, I am all of these things, and I have deep respect for the artists who kneel at the altar of one medium their whole life. And I assume I would be an even, like a more evolved songwriter or whatever if I only did that one thing, but I'm not just that one thing. And when I embrace all the things, then each each creative outlet has more life.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the podcasting, the talking, like, I don't think that I would have, I know that I wouldn't have as much to say if I didn't create. Like, I have to be creating. I have to be creating. But, um, I also have this need to speak to the world in other ways. So I try to embrace it all.
I hear you were talent spotted on the steps of Town Hall busking by David Drake. Is that true? David Drake, by
That
the
is,
way, is the director of our wonderful local theatre, which puts on great things. Is that true? You were spotted by him then?
I was. So we had met. We had actually met and had a conversation, had a great conversation. but then he came by town hall while I was singing and then and watched me sing for a while and then asked if I wanted to be in a play. And at that point, I had not been in a play in a very long time. And again, stupid me. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
writing an album. I
Yeah.
have to stay focused, blah, blah, blah. And then I said to myself, Anne, when an Obie winning theater artist asks you to be in a play, you say yes.
Mm.
Like you just have that experience. And if you hate it, you'll go on your way and you will have had the experience. So yes, he asked me to be in, I don't know if you were around Provincetown then. Oh boy, this was 2008.
Yes, I
So
was.
he asked,
Yes.
yeah, so did you see Poor Superman?
No.
It was at the
Yeah.
Art House.
Yeah. Oh,
It
was it?
was Yeah, it wasn't at the theater, it was at the art house. He'd been directing that play, Two Boys in a Bed on a Cold Winter's Night. At
Yes.
the art house, it was when the art house still had theater. And then
That,
it was a fall production. We did
oh, in those days, I wasn't there for the fall. I was a typical P-town. I went when it got cold.
yeah.
But for people who listen to this, we have to say we have an excellent theatre in Provincetown, very high standards. And David Drake, the director, is an Obie winner himself, and a great variety of productions too as well. So you've done about 8 with him?
You know what? I haven't counted recently, but that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. At least six. So there's yeah, August Osage County. We did a gender swapped
Mm.
importance of being earnest, um, where I played Ernest, August Osage County, um, Tiny Beautiful Things, What the Constitution Means to Me, oh, Casa Valentina. There might be
You don't know.
others.
So,
Yeah.
but you also make up words, I believe, because I was listening to a song of yours that we recorded 2 years ago, and I thought as a queer writer, I knew them all. This is it's a new one called Sapiosexual.
Oh, I didn't make that up.
I know you told me you didn't, but how did you come across because and how important is this to you, this new word that you didn't make up?
It's pretty important. So I love this story. So I was working on a song.
Hmm?
I can't remember what song now. I'd have to go back to my notebooks to look. And for some reason, I got thinking about Sappho,
Hmm?
the iconic lesbian poet from
Yeah,
Greece, where the word sapphic comes from, etc. And I went to Google Sappho because I wanted to find something out about her. And I typed in SAP in the Google, and the drop-down menu had a couple of things, and then it had sapiosexual. And I was like,
yes. Have I been missing
what's
something?
that? Yeah. And so I clicked on it and I found out that there's this word for being romantically attracted to or turned on by intelligent people. And I really did. I mean, it's a joke
Yeah,
to some extent,
yeah,
but I really did have a moment of feeling like a piece of my identity that I'd never named
yeah.
was named and seen. And then I had it in my notebook, was sort of playing around with it, and it sat there for a while. But then one day, I guess nothing else was working, and I was like, let's try this. And then it just was so fun. I couldn't resist.
But it was, I feel the same as part of me when I read it. Yeah, that could work. That could be a possibility. But then I'm
Do you
all,
know what do you know what I really am at my core though? Like if I'm getting thoroughly, thoroughly honest, I am deeply, deeply turned on by talent.
okay. I wonder what you
And
say then.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I looked that up and it's actually called, I think it's called ingeniosexual, and
We
that
have
just
too
doesn't
many.
have the
We have
same
too many.
ring.
Too many. So
Yeah.
I've deliberately avoided using the T word because these conversations about celebrating your work and your talent. But just ask you, I want to ask you one thing. Has it made you rethink your work from now on?
You mean the election and the new Trump regime?
Mm.
Sorry, I said it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm rethinking everything. I'm not rethinking being a creative person. I'm not rethinking, knowing that it's important for all of us to step up in some way. But what's changed is the ways I'm stepping up. So, I have a long history of street activism, and I am still, like a street activist. I believe very
Mm.
deeply in, claiming the public square for the things I believe in. But starting this podcast was a reaction to the election
Yeah.
and realizing that I want to sort of use my voice in a different way. And so I've started this podcast with Tim McCarthy. I don't know if you know Tim, but he's based in Provincetown, but he's a Harvard professor and has written several books and is a historian, particularly of, justice movements, racial justice movements, social justice movements. Um, and we've been friendly for years, but after the election decided to do something. And so we have this podcast called Breakdown, where we have a breakdown, like we allow ourselves the
Yeah.
space to, like talk about how we're feeling and how what's happening is impacting us personally. And then we break down what's going on. So yeah, so realizing that you know, I'm going to bring my voice to the time in a different way, I
Mm.
think is the thing that's changed. But the other thing that happens is in a way is good. And I don't want to say, oh, the silver lining, because there is no silver lining. Like it's just so devastating, everything that is being done right now from the White House. But there's something very clarifying too, right? Like I really believe that like all of art is service on some level,
Mm.
but a time like this like brings that into heightened relief, right? Like this new song is my love song to the queer and trans community. Like it's needed. Where is it needed? Let's get it out there. And again, I always think of music and theater and art as service, but I have an ego. Like it's very
Hey.
easy to get into like how many people streamed and like
Yeah,
do
yeah,
they
yeah,
like it? And it's like none of that matters. Like who needs it?
yeah,
Where does it need to go?
yeah.
You know? So
It's hard to stay positive, but it's important for us to do that as much as we can, and especially now when the defense opposite. Anyway, where can we see and hear you next?
the song is streaming everywhere already. So it's under my name, Anne Stott, ANNESTTTOTT.
We're going to put it on the bottom of the end. Don't worry. We can.
Um, and and we're doing the podcast, which has its own YouTube
Mhm.
channel. So that's on YouTube right now, but we're getting it in the works to be officially podcasted. And and then I'm reaching out to Pride festivals for the spring and summer to share the music there. So keep your eyes on those spaces in your local communities and also join my email list because if there's one thing we know now, social media is subject to whoever owns it and the whims of their
It's getting
political.
fewer and fewer. We can't do Twitter, and now we can't do Google after yesterday, banning everything. So I don't know. It's going to get. We went back to pigeons, I think. We must see each other this time when we're here.
We must see each other, Roger,
And
definitely.
if you've never been to Provincetown, just not because of Anne and I, it is the best place in the world for all
It,
queer people and people who are not queer. Do make it. Thanks for talking to me today.
thanks so much, Roger. Great to see you.
Sapiosexual. Adjective. Pronounced say. Our pretty faces just skin deep, and youth, well, you know you can't keep it. Money and stuff will never be